What happened? Why were the takedowns so easy? Why didn't Madalena even sprawl one time? If I didn't know better, I'd think he was a beginner. Of course, JDM is one of the best. He's probably the second best welterweight alive today. But why didn't he look so defenseless in the wrestling? It's confusing. It's confusing. It's shocking. It's I don't know what to say. Guys, I got to give an incredible congratulations to Islam Makhachev. The double champ made history, is now 16 wins in a row, tying Anderson Silva's record for most consecutive wins in the UFC and becoming double champion. Not only did he become double champion, he dominated the former welterweight champ, the now former welterweight champ in JDM, easily for 5 rounds. All judges gave it 50-45, giving Islam Makhachev every single round. There is no dispute. There is no controversy. There is no back and forth. There is nobody online arguing for JDM. Everybody knows JDM lost, including JDM. When you saw him sit on the stool between the rounds, he was so depressed. Even his coach had to tell him, if you listen to the corner between rounds, his coach tells him, take that sad look off your face. He was upset with JDM. Take that sad look off your face. He was egging JDM on. JDM looked broken after round 1. After round 2, he looked depressed. What was going on? JDM didn't even attempt to sprawl. He did one limp leg in the entire fight. He got taken down every round with the exception of round 2, where he kind of tried to counter. He tried to wrestle with Islam and kind of took himself down. He tried to jump. He tried to step over an underhook in dogfight, which is very risky, and it backfired, and he ended up on the bottom. Islam didn't really have to take him down because he kind of he attacked Islam and it backfired. Islam got easy takedowns. What happened? I want to talk about this one topic. Why were the takedowns so easy? Now, I expected Islam to take him down, but not this easily. I told you all he's going to shoot round 1, minute 1. About a minute 10 seconds, a minute 5 seconds, Islam shoots. He takes JDM down. I'm telling you, there are wrestlers all over the world that don't do MMA. Watch that fight and they're like, oh, these MMA guys don't know how to wrestle. They're total beginners in wrestling. They know nothing about wrestling, which is not true because JDM knows how to defend wrestling. JDM is a slick guy. He's an intelligent guy. What happened? We're going to talk about what happened on the ground as well. The octopus guard. He tried the octopus guard over 10 times. I lost count. I had a count of 15 octopus attempts. This is crazy. We're going to talk about half guard. I told you guys in the past, half guard is a bad guard, especially for MMA. It's not the guard you want to go to. You got to learn how to defend half guard and get to better guards. I talked to you guys about this strategy. I got so much blowback. Now, I know that JDM maybe is no half guard expert, but that's my point. Half guard is a very sensitive guard. We're going to talk about that later. You better know every minutia of half guard because if you don't, it backfires. And JDM made the same mistake from half guard over and over again. And it's crazy, and we're going to talk about it. But before we get into what happened on the ground, somebody out there explain to me why JDM barely sprawled. It happened in the DDP fight. What's going on? In DDP fight, DDP barely defended a takedown till the 5th round. He finally defended a takedown and got on top of Shamaev. But the first round, he didn't even look like he was trying to sprawl. What happened? I need an explanation. Why didn't JDM explode into a sprawl? He gave up the leg quick, and we all know the shot is coming. Does he need to listen to this podcast? I told the whole world. Makhachev is going to shoot round 1, minute 1. Be certain. Guys, we all know he's going to shoot. Of course, he did shoot. No surprise. Everybody knows. Everybody and his grandmother knows. You don't have to be an MMA coach to know. Why didn't JDM look like he was prepared? Somebody answer that. Somebody give me an answer. I would love to talk to his coaching team. I would love to talk to the whole staff. I understand Islam is tough to take down, to stop. I get it. He's an incredible wrestler. But it didn't seem like he was even fully aware that the shot is coming. JDM's corner was telling him, you got to move your feet. Your feet are stuck in the mud. You got to move your feet. Yeah, but that's not really the problem. Moving around doesn't really help because you're putting yourself up against the fence. That's Makhachev's wheelhouse. It's not really going to help. Guys, by the way, don't forget to check out my new instructional. Guys, this is my best striking instructional ever. It's a partner-based system, commands and signals, striking system, volume 1. Use promo code HOLIDAY55 off and get 55% off anything on jujitsuclub.com. Guys, I'm telling you, this is the first of many volumes for this series. It's a partner drill series. We do this all the time. This is the curriculum of TriStar Gym. Make sure to pick it up. It's super, super effective. It's an incredible way to train, and I promise you this will change your game. And also in the new year, we're going to be opening up the certification. So get the video now, practice it, and in February of 2026, we're going to open up certification. You're going to be able to upload a video of you training, doing the system. And if you're doing it correctly, we will certify you for volume 1. Don't get too excited. Volume 1 doesn't mean you're a black belt or anything like that. It just means you're on your path to mastering the system. And it's probably going to be like a 10 volume system minimum. At minimum, it will be 10 volumes. This is volume 1. The other volumes have already been written, and we're going to be filming them shortly. And we're going to make a certification program. Guys, don't miss out on this system. If you're a striking enthusiast, if you're an MMA fighter, a kickboxer, check it out. We use this with pros all over the world. It is the best system I have ever come across. I've innovated the system from years and years of working with some of the best coaches on the planet. I've taken a little bit from everybody's system and made this monstrosity, a monstrosity of a system. It's a Frankenstein of a system. So be sure to check it out. Okay, guys, let's talk about only Islam Makhachev and JDM. I want to hear comments and questions. I'm not going to go through the entire fight because you know what it was? It was a takedown really early. It was half guard dominance. A few attempts to submission by Makhachev. None really got close. And then just really bad half guard play by JDM. And I get frustrated when I see things like that. Okay, frustrated because, you know, here's the thing. You know, I know Greg Jones is an incredible grappler. He's a stud grappler. He won silver at the ADCC. The guy's an incredible grappler. And he's famous for his octopus guard. I know he has a very famous video out there. I understand it. Octopus guard is not new. It's old. It's a really great system as a backup plan. Okay, it's your backup plan. It can't be your bread and butter base game because there's a lot of things better than that you can do. And JDM was just hammering away with octopus guard. Maybe, and here's a crazy thing. He tried a buggy choke, man. He tried a buggy choke. Now, using the buggy choke to escape the darts, I agree this makes sense. But he attempted a buggy choke, and then he almost got darts, and then he escaped the darts for using a buggy choke. The buggy choke was embarrassing. It was a bad idea. Look, when you train a striker, you got to consider a strike selection. When you train a grappler, you got to be conservative and say, look, I can't teach him every move under the sun. What moves am I going to train him in that make the biggest difference in this fight? If you told me, hey, let's go octopus, I would have said no. If you try octopus on Makhachev, it's going to backfire. JDM does not have the experience to pull off octopus. Okay, octopus is a very sensitive guard, meaning if you don't get it just right, if you don't time it right, if you don't do it in the right circumstance, it backfires. Okay? A sensitive guard is something that backfires. A sensitive attack is something that backfires. It has to be done just right. And even worse, if you told me, what about buggy choke? I would have told you he doesn't have the hips or legs. Guys, I've trained with the Rotullo brothers. I felt the strongest buggy chokes in the world. I know. I have students of mine that do buggy choke. I have one student of mine is a buggy choke expert. That's pretty much that's his bread and butter. And don't get me wrong. I've seen him tap out studs with the buggy choke. You have to have the legs. You have to have the reach. You have to have the hips to do it. JDM doesn't fit the criteria for a buggy choke. It doesn't make sense. And you're going to try that on Islam Makhachev? I think it's crazy. I think it's just crazy. And I think the maneuver selection was wrong. Craig Jones is a brilliant guy. He's an incredible grappling coach, but he doesn't have a lot of experience training maybe MMA fighters and understanding their situation that they're in and their capabilities. Because if you're going to play octopus guard, man, you better be doing that every day. You better be drilling it every day. An MMA fighter has so many other things to see, so many other things to do. He can't just be the master of octopus guard. Now, guys, I train my UFC fighters. I train them in octopus guard. Yes, I do. And when they try it, sometimes it fails and sometimes it works. That's why I tell them you only do it in these circumstances when you have no other choice. He blocked you and in these other circumstances. It's just crazy to me that these gimmicky guards are seen in a UFC fight, main event, 5-rounder, mega fight, champion versus champion. And that's what you're trying to do. It's just doesn't make sense to me. All right, guys, I went on a ramble. I'm a little bit out of control tonight. Why did JDM cry? Why did JDM cry? That's from Tuxedo Mask. I didn't see him cry. Look, he doesn't deserve to cry. Okay, I don't want to be hard on the guy. It was a tough fight. He didn't do well. He's much better than what he showed. He's an incredible fighter. He might be the second best welterweight alive today. I have utmost respect for the man. I just thought it was going to be way more of a seesaw battle. I'm sure JDM's disappointed in his own performance. I think his coaches, you heard them in the corner, they were very, very disappointed. It wasn't remotely competitive, which is unbelievable because JDM is so talented, so intelligent, so crafty, so skilled, so talented. The man's on a tear. I think he has like 7 wins in a row or 6 wins in a row in UFC. But before that, I mean, he's like on an 18-fight win streak. Let me look at his record. Okay, JDM has a stunning record. Let's look at JDM's topology here. He's 8-1 UFC. Okay, his last fight was a loss. Okay, but before fighting Makhachev, 8 wins in a row in UFC. Guys, let me tell you something. Less than 1% of fighters in UFC, get 8 wins in a row. Less than 1% of fighters in the UFC history, all of UFC history, will score 8 wins in a row. Less than 1%. Think about that. They take the best of the best fighters in the world. The best. Only the best, man. This is the Olympics of MMA. And not even... And then, okay, refine... That's the best guys. Okay, then take the 1% of the best guys. Less than 1% are going to win 8 fights in a row, statistically speaking. Okay, it's a crazy achievement on JDM's part. Incredible. He's one of the best martial artists alive today. Incredible. Before his UFC streak, his last loss was in 2016. The man hasn't lost a fight in over, let's call it 10 years. Okay, think about it. He's won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 fights in a row, okay? 18, so 10 fights in a row. Then he goes to UFC, wins another 8 in a row. Think about the confidence he has. Think about the confidence. He went in there, he hasn't lost a fight in 10 years. Let's just call it 10 years. 10, 11 years. Incredible. He gets in there and he gets mauled by some guy who went up a weight division. Mind blow. Total mind blow. Okay, guys, I'm losing it a little bit tonight. I know I'm out of control. Seemed like JDM overprepared for the number of submissions sacrificed in other areas. That's from Chocolat. Man, he should have put so much emphasis on the sprawl, man. He should have put so much, look, I'm Monday morning quarterbacking here for sure. Okay. I just feel that his sprawl and takedown defense was not urgent. It wasn't urgent. It was almost like he was lackadaisical until the 5th round. 5th round, they lit a fire under JDM and he went after it. He started throwing punches and he got double-legged. But look, at least he tried. Like, it wasn't close. He didn't get close to hurting Makhachev. The best punch he landed, JDM landed one good punch in round 2. He landed a good right hook. He hit Makhachev. Makhachev pressed him up against the fence, and it led to them getting to the ground because JDM was trying to scramble for an attack. He landed one good hook. The majority of the good strikes came from Makhachev. Makhachev torched his leg. JDM went southpaw, and Makhachev charred his leg with low kicks. He killed him with low kicks. Makhachev won in the striking. He won in the wrestling. And he won on the ground, obviously. It's because of the calves. In the first few rounds, he did react. That's from Mighty Galactus. Man, the first takedown, he didn't seem to react too much. Makhachev shot from far away, grabbed the single leg, and he did one attempt. He did one takedown and got it on the first effort. There was no second effort, third effort. There wasn't a combination of attacks. When he was wrestling Poirier, at least he had to do a combination of attacks. He had to go from one move to the next, and then he finally caught Poirier with the golf swing, which, by the way, I also teach him my single leg made easy. And it took 3-4 attacks. With JDM, it took one attack. Grab and attack. That's what we call second effort. You missed the first attack because the guy countered you. You go into a second attack, a chain wrestling. There was no chain wrestling really involved. Not much. I mean, nothing really, except unless you count the fence, which on the fence, the fight got to the ground really quick. Coach, did it look like JDM came injured, or was it low kicks from Islam that were unexpectedly damaging? That's from Faraz. Faraz, by the way, I love your name. Second of all, I think the low kicks really crushed him. Yes, it made a big difference, definitely. But I don't think JDM should have been southpaw for so long. And then he did later on in the fight. He switched to orthodox, and that didn't help either. But he did get crushed by those kicks, man. And I told you guys, Islam has more power than JDM. One shot each. Makhachev has more power. Now JDM has better technical mechanics. He has better combinations. He has more output. He has more up, meaning he throws more shots per minute. Usually outside this fight, he usually throws more shots per minute. And his defense is technically better, even though Makhachev is very good at not getting hit. When there are actual exchanges, Makhachev gets hits. Makhachev usually relies on distance and wrestling to avoid strikes. Coach, your fight predictions are like a crystal ball. That's from Emmanuel Bear Cry. Look, I'll tell you something. I got every single fight right. And I'll tell you something that hasn't happened to me in a very long time. I don't want to say like, oh, I knew it and all made sense. No, guys. This is a special this was a special circumstance. I don't expect my calls to be perfect in the future, guys. I get calls wrong just like everybody else. Like I said, whenever I go to the shows, I always ask everybody's opinion, the fighters, the coaches. And I'll tell you something, it's very hard to predict fights. Anything can happen. I didn't think this was going to happen. I thought it was going to be a seesaw battle. I picked Makhachev to win, but not like this. I gave him, if I remember correctly, I gave him 55-45. I didn't think it was going to be 95-5. I didn't think that, okay? That's what we saw. We saw 95-5. Let's be really nice and say 80-20. Okay, but it was a really one-sided fight. It's crazy to see a champion versus champion fight where everybody, and we saw it moments before with Shevchenko and Weili, but that's still not as shocking to me as what happened to JDM.